Well, with Jumpstart Horizons, this also is my This Week in Magic video, so we're just going to combine it into one because, unfortunately, I have limited time to make videos right now. My work is very demanding. Anyway, we'll start off with the state of the game because they're covering Jumpstart Horizons. Rise and Shine, it'll save you Control F for searching when we say Historic Brawl, and there's a Q. Historic Brawl is finally on Arena after many people complaining and demanding that we need a 100-card Historic Brawl format. Pretty much, they're bringing Commander into Arena. This is good. This is what people want. The next step, I would say, is make us a multiplayer queue. We need to be able to play 4-player Commander. Pretty plain and simple. We need 4-player Commander. That would be, you do that, and you'll have a lot of people flock to Arena. Arena right now is not in a very good place. I don't think I have thoughts on this Jumpstart stuff with the Historic Horizons. It's something that is very more easily done with a digital version than the actual starter pack card game. And I have a lot of thoughts on that, what we'll get into. Recalibrate. Over several months, we've been working on large-scale change in our back-end system. I am not surprised you have nothing but issues. This won't have much of an immediate impact, but it's a crucial step to help ensure long-term stability for Arena and maintain the ability to keep it supported and running well for years to come. Well, considering on some of the matches we've done here on the channel, we've probably melted part of the servers with the amount of tokens and the amount of things that we just tend to do and stack up, and then when Scoot Swarm was a big deal, it was affecting other games. It was affecting other games that were being played on the same server that one was on. So ultimately, that's server meltdown. So either they updated a lot in the back end or just adding more space, more servers. It's a bigger game at that point. Because of the size of a change, there will be a few differences that players will see at release. First, we're planning a 4-hour downtime on August 10th. To make the switch over, we will need to disable starting new matches for about an hour before the downtime starts. So if you're in the middle of a match, you finish the match and you won't be able to start a new one. So it's actually a 5-hour downtime. Another effect to the change is unable to spend mastery orbs from Strixhaven mages after this downtime. But we're in the D&D set. What? You can do multiple mastery. I don't get that. Major impact is that we'll see the split the normal August 2021 rank season into two, an early August season running August 1 to 10 and a late August season that runs 10 to 13. The rank reset these two seasons will be smaller than normal, with mythic players being reset to Diamond 1 and all their ranks being maintained. Both seasons will have full normal rewards, so you only have a 2-week window to actually obtain your normal rewards. That's interesting. Jumpstart Horizons. So yeah, we can get into the bug reports. They'll be rewarding normal. Yeah, there's nothing else really there. Jumpstart Historic Horizons is the new digital-only take on Jumpstart, bringing both a new mode and several new cards to Arena. So, this is something I said that they might do, where they would find a way to do historic cards in a more pack-style orientation than you just buying the cards outright. And this is something I said would happen. And they found a way through Jumpstart. Jumpstart, I like the format. I do like the format personally. It's a great introduction to new players. They've put just enough value in it that old players can respect the format and have fun with it. That's mainly what it is. Bringing it to Arena with Arena-only cards is kind of It's going to be very interesting. So now they're bringing in historic only cards and then arena only cards. And those arena only cards are going to be they're not going to be good for the game as a whole. So ultimately, they already do a lot of the things these arena only cards do, just they word it differently. So in arena, it calculates things differently. And this all but makes me wonder if one of the theories I have about the way the shuffling works in arena is true now, because this would actually make that more streamlined for that. What I mean by this is when you start a match for arena, it takes off your clock speed for your computer and all this other stuff to compile the deck lists or numbered lists, and then it randomly picks one of those lists. The amount of lists that are generated are only that's that big 32-bit integer. That's how many deck lists are generated, and that's why we see certain groupings of decks where you're going to see cards get grouped together a lot, because they can't generate that many decks at once. They can't generate it's like 2 to the 64th power decks, because there's just not enough memory in the game to hold it. And that's why they use an algorithm for the deck drawing and shuffling and all this other stuff, and why we see so many problems with the shuffler. Jumpstart is bringing in things called Seek, and there's another one where Seek is only going to pick out certain cards in your deck without actually shuffling your deck. And it's the shuffling of your deck that is making things very difficult for the program, because if you have to shuffle your deck, technically it's got to go through the sequence of calculating all the new versions of that deck could be, and then it randomly picks one of those new versions. So this is part in this being with an update in the back-end system of Arena almost confirms that this is the way they're doing things. And yeah, it's not good, really. You're going to see more problems with shuffling. You're going to see more problems with the way the decks are, I suspect, after all of this, unless that back-end fix with Arena is actually going to fix a lot of these problems. Are they updating the shuffling problems? We know there's issues there, so we'll have to wait to see. If they're bringing in a different number randomizer than Unity, then that would be a major back end thing that they have to do, and why they would be down for so long. If they're changing that out and making it more of a randomized version, then we will see a better increase for it. But with Jumpstart Horizons, it kind of signals that they're not going that route. They're trying to make things easier on the servers by introducing these cards that don't shuffle your deck. And I think that's part of what the issue with the program in itself. This is all just thoughts. This is all just hearsay. There's no details about that type of stuff. It's just trying to understand how the program works, and this is where my mind takes me, trying to understand how it's working. So with returning to the ranks, you get Jumpstart Horizons being 4,400 gems or 2,000 gold. You win 2 matches, you get a free card. Overall, we wanted to ensure players that more variety and experience interesting, surprising, multicolored packets have been added into the mix so you can build more varied decks. Ew. So that means you can get 2-color decks. I don't like that. I like the idea of them staying one color, because now you're getting what, 12, 13 cards out of this, then lands? That's not a lot. That's not enough to really move things forward. I don't like it. Ingenious Infiltrator, one of the key goals of Jumpstart Historic Horizons was to pull a large chunks of Modern Horizons and Modern Horizons 2 into Arena and Historic. A lot of people were upset finding out Modern Horizons and Modern Horizons 2 were never going to Arena. And this is their way to bring in certain cards that ideally won't affect the meta that much, and give kinda a mix of both. I don't know how many people this is actually satisfying. I honestly don't want to see these cards in there unless Historic is now going to be parity with Modern, which is more looking like what it's going to do. And if we can get Modern on Arena, that does draw in a lot more players. And why I think they're pushing this is to make it look a lot more like Modern, which ultimately just play paper. There are about 220 cards from those sets in the boosters. I'm not calling them packets. Alongside about 120 other new to MTG Arena reprints and about 400 returning cards already available in Arena, all creating a massive card pool of more than 750 for these new boosters. So that's very similar to the mystery boosters or the list. The list is a list of like 700 cards that are inserted into set boosters. So we'll have to see how this plays out. 750 new cards. This is going to be a wildcard sink. It's going to clean up a lot of those wild cards, and it's going to be very interesting. Now, certain ways you can do this: if you have a stockpile of uncommons and commons, spend all your uncommons and commons. You will fill up the vault faster when you fill up those card slots a lot faster. All the value goes to the vault. Then you get to change in the vault and get more rares and mythics. That's going to be one way to kind of cycle through your uncommons and commons. Best way to do that is usually with the new set. You spend all your uncommons and commons at the new set, and then every time you pick them up, they're filling up the vault that much faster. Bounty of the Deep. It's not all just reprints. Jumpstart Horizons add 31 new cards to and these are Magic's first cards in a long time that use digital-only mechanics. So Perpetual is a instant-like effect, or whenever a veteran charger enters the battlefield, choose a creature card in your hand. It perpetually gains +2/+2. There is a huge problem I have with that card. First off, you should have to reveal that card so we know it's getting +2/+2. However, this can be hidden knowledge because you just choose one in your hand, and then when you play it, this is going to create confusion when you're playing it against your opponent, and your opponent goes, why is that thing a 6/6 instead of a 4/4? That makes absolutely no sense to do something like that. That's going to be a problem. Darvarel's Withering. Target creature perpetually gets -1/-2. So what that does in the instant slot is instead of it being a enchantment that can be disenchanted or dropped off the creature, it's an instant, and it just keeps the -1/-2 for as long as it's there. If you flicker it, it should lose it. I don't know if it enters or re-enters the battlefield. Does it? I guess here. Perpetual is a digital-only modifier that can be applied to existing Magic rules, but put simply, Perpetual modifications persist beyond zone transfers. So even if you flicker the card, it will still have that. If it goes into the graveyard, it still has that. It's not that bad. It's kind of interesting, that side, but yeah, it's kind of weird in the same way, because now you have no way of getting rid of this Perpetual thing. Conjured are creating tokens, but tokens of cards. So when Winged Steed Trainer enters the battlefield or attacks, conjure a Stormfront Pegasus card to your hand. So this is going to create cards out of thin air, and they go to your hand, then you play them. One of the ones that we've seen with this is Tropical Island. We're seeing some of the cards are going to create a dual land from Alpha into Arena. They've been kind of playing with this with the Black Lotus, which they did with Garth One-Eyed with the newest set. So this isn't something that they can't do in normal paper. It's harder to do in paper. Seek is where it's going to streamline getting a card out of your library. It's going to take all cards that meet the definition, put them up on screen, and then you pick that one card. My problem with Seek is, can you game the shuffler and the system? because it's not going to shuffle your deck. It's going to leave your deck in its order. So now when they display all those cards on the screen, is that going to be the order they are in your deck? And then they don't get shuffled. So I don't like that, because now it won't be random. Seek is a streamlined way to get a card out of your library. It describes some specific quality and qualities of a card. Then one card that matches those qualities will be randomly selected. Okay, so they're being randomly selected. So it's just going to randomly give a card on the back end. So you won't actually ever see that. That's good. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So that's not so bad. Prophetic Titan. I don't know why they're giving them names like this. Expands historic format in new ways. Yeah, Stirring Address. Now that you've been waiting for it, with this release, we're adding 100 cards from... adding a 100-card historic Brawl queue. And that's it. That's the update. Good. It better be free. That's all I got to say. Brawl needs to be free. You can run special events and charge for it, but you still need the queue to be free. Like, plain and simple. So it looks like they're bringing the first Sliver and Yawgmoth into it. If the first Slither is coming to Arena, that means we're going to get a ton of Slithers added. It's an archetype that people aren't a fan of, and it's a tribalism for a deck that's going to be probably very powerful, and yeah, you're going to see a lot of people jump the ship to Slivers very quickly if we're getting a lot of them. Graceful restoration. So as long as you log in, you're going to get the restore egg through August, and then when September hits, you get some refunds on some wildcards. So we've got some announcement. Arena Open is this weekend, starting today. I won't be playing it because I just don't have the time. Jumpstart Heroic Horizons. Yeah, welcome to the Yawning Portal, which is one of the things. Visit Yawning Portal Tavern through July 30th to the 10th. So starting yesterday, actually, and explore the dungeon of Undermountain to learn rulebook cards. Earn rulebook card styles for the Dungeons and Dragons. Cool. Standard singleton event. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, venture into the dungeon. Interesting. I might have to check that out. And then midweek magic is all access. The all access, it just opens up the game so you can take a look at it. I think this is older, so that might actually have already come and gone. That was the 28th. So yeah, I think that's already gone. That's interesting. They put it on the day that they did it. What is Jumpstart Horizons? Well, we pretty much went over it, but they've got a more detailed version of these card lists. You can scroll through them. There is so many cards going to be in there. Lightning Bolt. Okay, yeah, the tome can conjure Lightning Bolt, meaning these are programmed in Arena. Swords to Plowshares we've already seen. So Lightning Bolt is programmed in Arena, so that is something to be aware of. If at some point they get that disparity where historic becomes modern, Lightning Bolt will become legal in some sort of set. And one thing other that they're doing for this one is with each pack opening that you do or booster opening of Jumpstart, there is a random version of them. So what is it? Some conjure card, that's conjure. Secondly, you may notice Tome of Infinite isn't actually listed above. In the exciting update of the original Jumpstart boosters, there are even more variety of Jumpstart Historic Horizons, as some cards can replace select cards in the booster. For the animated booster, we've have a variance that looks like this. So where does it list where the variant is? So this just gives us... Weird. So I don't know how the variance is working, what cards they're pulling out and what cards are in there. There's going to be some cards that are guaranteed in the pack, like I'm guessing like Floodhound and stuff like that. But they list Icy Manipulator in this list and Witching Well. So it looks like maybe whatever the true theme of the pack is, that's where your mix-up is going to be. Unless they just swap out random cards. So could you get a pack that's all of these cards instead? That's going to be kind of weird. There's a reason for this, and the reason for this is going to be to create variance and make it so you have to play more and more and more to collect the entire set. They go into details on what it is. So that is what happened with this week in Magic. Now, my thoughts on Jumpstart and these Jumpstart only cards and Arena only cards. I don't think they're very good in particular for the fragmentation of Magic the Gathering. I think Magic the Gathering shouldn't be fragmented like this. We've seen it time and time again, and why we are in this mess with MTG Arena. It always seems that every month they're scrambling to do something new in Arena, and if they're scrambling to do something new in Arena, that means that they're not having success in it. They're always trying to bring in a new way of bringing people there because everything they're doing isn't working the way they're expecting. So does this spell disaster coming down the road for Arena? I hope not. I hope Arena is here to stay. It's a very much needed successor to MTGO, where MTGO is so buggy. It is very hard for me to sit through a match and play MTGO on a regular basis. Because, well, there's a few reasons for that. One is because MTGO is the same cost as playing paper Magic. Well, we'll have to wait to see. And the other reason is because it's a buggy mess. Arena has its bugs, but are nowhere near what's going on with that. Also, guys, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day. I am your proud Canadian Phoenix, and this has been a blur of a week and a lot of things going on with work, and I will see you guys very, very soon. It's only 8 weeks, so just hold on to your butts because we will be back in full fashion. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you all later.